rotator cuff is a very important group of muscles that sit underneath the big muscles. On the top, you've got things like the chest, the shoulders, muscles around the back, and they move your arm around and push things and pull things. But underneath those muscles is a group of very small muscles that work together to create a cuff that rotate this bone in its socket. Imagine the clavicle coming out here and making a little cup, long straight bone with a round top on it, cup, long straight bone, round top. What we want is for things to rotate neatly in the joint and not go banging and sliding about. That's where all the problems come, especially if it moves up instead of as you raise your arm to the side. We don't want it to lift up. We want it to simply rotate in the socket, because through this little gap right here, there's a whole bunch of stuff that can get quite upset if you pinch it a lot. Okay, so we're going to start off with our rubber band. Your rotator cuff muscles, you generally start to train them with your arm by your side and progressively move away as you get stronger. When we do these things, it is important to keep your shoulder back and down, chest up, long neck, everything in its place, okay? Doing exercises like this is not going to help you out. So I've tied my rubber band to something at around about waist height, and I'm holding it palm up, shoulder positioned back and down. Just a little bit of tension just here, not too much. Rotating out to the side. You'll know you've got things at the right height if your rubber band is the same level as your forearm. Rotating out, rotating in, rotate out, rotate in. Make sure, of course, that you're not simply pushing it out to the side. The goal here is to spin this bone. Once you can do it by your side pretty stably, we want to gradually work your arm up, away from the side. And we typically do that with your arm supported at the beginning. So we can take something like this and put your arm on the back of a chair, a bench, a shelf, whatever you've found that works well for you. Hold that like this. I like that little pinchy grip. Shoulder positioned back and down. My arm is just out from my side, but ever so fractionally forward, maybe 5 or 10 degrees forward. Nice square body, and just rotate back. If that's vertical, ideally, you can go just a little bit past there, not quite letting the tension off when you come forward. Nice and smooth. We're not looking for violent movement there. Once you get good at that, and you can do it with your arm supported and shoulder still exactly where it needs to be, you can then take your arm off the support, which means you have to self-support. I'll show you on the other side. Just there. Shoulders back and lovely, rotate and back. Cool, okay? So those are 2 good ways to get yourself started. Once you're feeling pretty confident at those, you can start playing with the angles and coming maybe even around the front. So, elbow in front of shoulder, but shoulder still held back. Rotate across and internal, external, internal, external, okay? So those are 3 ways you can start to strengthen your external rotator cuff when you're at home. As far as the internal is concerned, that's the ability to turn inwards instead of outwards. We really follow the same process, but you'd expect to feel a little bit stronger when you do these, because the internal rotator cuff is typically a bit stronger than your external. Okay? So when I do this one, I'm going to start there, grab it a bit closer because I want more resistance. I'm starting there, shoulder still back and down. Rotate in. Keep your arm by your side. Rotate in. Like that. Once you get good at that, of course, we're again going to work up onto our bands, up onto a raised platform of some sort. Grab that there. Get a good grip. Shoulder back and down. Rotate forward. And get a little stretch by moving just slightly behind vertical. Give it a bit more stretch this way maybe, a bit tougher. There you go. And again, once you've got the knack of that, you can have your arm no longer supported, but out to the side like this. Shoulder back and down, always have to keep reminding yourself, arm stable, just going to pivot on the spot, just imagine that there's a pivot there. Rotate, like so. There you go, internal and external rotation to help your shoulders get a little stronger.